Welcome, everyone, to another episode of What Exit Jersey Stories. I'm your host, Nick Franco, and with me, as always,
Pete Riario.
How was your New Year, Pete?
The New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, or just in general, my New
Well,
Year's?
yeah. How is this New Year?
So far, so good. I can't complain. I'm optimistic, I would say, cautiously optimistic with numbers trending down in New Jersey, and it seems like, we may.
That's the COVID numbers, not like numbers like the lottery or like casino numbers or phone numbers.
Not the lotto numbers.
Yeah, numbers are trending down. What's going on?
Not those numbers, no. And there's less numbers on my wall, from me trying to figure out like the number 23. This is some significance scrawled all over the four walls. I'm doing less. I feel more confident in myself.
Oh, there you go.
I don't need to, figure out the mathematical
better headspace. Yeah.
To a comet hitting the Earth or something.
Yeah, but
yep.
Yeah, it's been we're not a full month into the year yet, and a lot of stuff happening, and New Jersey's coming in a little hot, which brings us to our topic today.
You almost sound like a radio DJ, like 97.1 Hot FM. New Jersey coming in a little bit hot today.
New Jersey coming in a little hot today because today we're talking about
here's a lover boy, hot girls. Oh, I was gonna do lover boy, hot girls in love.
Yeah, no. I wish it was that, but no. Yeah, we're going. You could take it the, the Ohio Players way, but we'll go the Springsteen way of fire.
Oh, now I got you. There.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, fire bad.
Or Metallica, fight fire with fire.
Yes. Oh, that was also a Kansas song too. But
yes, great song, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, great song, great
different
great
vocalist. I believe, right? Different vocalist than the
different vocalist than the original.
But still, great vocalist, great song.
But today we're not talking about songs with the word fire in it. Today we're talking about actual fires, because in recent Jersey history, in fact, last weekend, the city of Passaic had a bit of a hot time on their hands when what's that?
No, continue.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to comment on my whole radio DJ thing there again, but did you hear about this last weekend, Pete?
I did. What was shocking was that I don't know what exactly. Maybe I was like preparing breakfast or something like that, and they flashed on the screen this gigantic fireball, and I'm like, where the hell was that? And then they said Passaic, New Jersey, and I could not believe it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Passaic, New Jersey, part of Passaic County. It's Passaic is an old industrial town too.
Right.
When you talk about New Jersey history, you have Paterson and Passaic were very big industrial towns in long ago. And, actually, even to this day, there's a lot of manufacturing and such in that area. Unfortunately, a week ago Friday, two of those manufacturing plants, one was the Majestic, what were they called here? Majestic Industries, who makes, this is going to sound an interesting one. You want to take a chance at what does Majestic Industries make?
Chemicals, like some kind of chemical plant.
No, that's the second one we're going to talk about. Majestic Industries, though.
Majestic, huh?
Majestic.
They make props for magic shows.
No, but it's weird. Cards and things are not off off from there.
Like cards?
No, not playing cards. Let's think of if we go down South New Jersey to this little town called Atlantic City. There's these things down there called casinos.
Yes, they have the casino chips.
Well, not the chips. This is gonna be the weirdest sounding thing. Well, when you're going to the tables, you want to put down some chips. Like, say, you're at the roulette table. Well, maybe not the roulette table. I think
Poker
we
table,
stand around a little more, but poker tables,
craps,
blackjack, and all that.
roulette.
Well, what do you want to do? Like, when you're there at the table, besides put down your chips,
Have a drink.
have a drink is another great thing, but you also might want to sit.
Well, okay, yeah, they make chairs.
They make actually the casino chairs for the different
Oh,
casinos.
that's interesting.
It's one of the strangest, like, I would have never come up with that one off the top of my head, but like, yeah,
Mhm.
they make actually the casino chairs
Wow.
that we see down in AC and other casinos.
Right.
Now, next door was another manufacturing plant called Qualco Incorporated. This is where what you were talking about. What do they make?
To make playing cards,
No. Again, Majestic Industries is the one that
casino
does the
chips.
casino chairs. Qualco, what did you say initially?
Thought I said casino chips, didn't I? No, I
No, the
said
first thing.
props for a magic act.
No. Even before that, you actually said chemicals.
Chemicals. Yes, right. That was my initial
Yeah.
guess. Yeah.
Well, let's be more not Pacific. We're on
Precise.
the Atlantic side. What?
Yeah, more precise. Is that what you're saying?
More precise. How about pool chemicals? And
Oh,
like things for pools and spas. Those are big things,
they
right?
are right.
Well, somebody's got to make the the chemicals and such that goes into those things.
Mm-hmm.
And Qualco Incorporated was one of the main ones.
Wow. Okay.
Well, a week ago Friday,
Yep.
they caught fire.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a fire at any place, is not good. But when you take into consideration Qualco and the chemicals that they had, I'll say this: like, the fire actually engulfed 100,000 pounds of chemicals. Thankfully, it did not actually cause a hazardous incident like in Passaic or the surrounding area,
Mm-hmm.
because they were able to stave off the fire, keep it from going to the main plant. The main
Oh.
plant is the dangerous plant
Mm-hmm.
because Qualco had over 3 million pounds of chlorine.
Oh God.
Yeah. Yeah. A little chlorine clouds, not that good for your health.
No.
So here we go. Friday night or evening or whatever of the 14th. Fire starts. At first, they thought it was actually a car fire outside, the plants, like in front.
Mm-hmm.
But they soon, people soon saw that, wait, hold on, this fire is growing. And the black smoke is like really like churning. There was so much black smoke, it actually was showing up on weather equipment.
Wow.
So,
That's
needless
remarkable.
to say, the Passaic Fire Company was called in. Like some of the different, they have multiple. Passaic
Mhm.
is a large city in New Jersey. For those not familiar with, so multiple fire companies from Passaic were called in. That wasn't enough. Let's quiz you here, Pete.
All right. I love quizzes.
Okay, when we talk about fires,
Mm-hmm.
there's this term called alarm. Like,
Yes,
like it's also used in, like, say, chili. It's like, ooh, 3-alarm chili, 5-alarm chili.
I'm guessing like this is based on oh boy. Yeah, so like there's like a 4-alarm fire, 5-alarm fire, and
Yeah.
I'm guessing the magnitude of the fire constitutes how
Well,
many. I don't even know what the
Okay, so this is a little learning for everyone, because
yes I have no
I
idea.
actually had to learn this as well. I thought the same thing. The magnitude of fire.
I
It's
don't know if
not
you can
necessarily the
see that.
magnitude of fire.
That
what
was
it's-
the fire in Passaic. I mean, you could see it's a fireball that is just insane.
Yeah,
over there. I know there's a little bit of glare there, but anyway.
but the term alarm actually comes from, it's the amount of engines needed,
Yeah, that's
Ladder companies needed, fire chiefs needed, like all these different pieces of equipment
mhm.
and firefighters that are needed to put down a fire.
That
That's
yeah.
where the alarm comes out. Now you said, you know, 4 alarm, 5 alarm fire. What type of fire was this one in Passaic?
Okay, so I did a little research, and I may or may not be correct on this, but you will let me know. I believe I read the Passaic fire that was last week was an 8 alarm fire. Is that right, or am I wrong?
Well, okay, if this was The Price is Right, you would actually be good unless someone bid $1 over you. Because the Passaic fire of last weekend was an
Mhm.
11 alarm fire.
Whoa! So maybe I read like an article where it was the earlier that it was an 8
It's
and then
quite
turned into an
possible.
11.
Yeah,
You know,
it turned into an 11 alarm fire.
incredible.
Now, here's one of the things to think about when firefighters are fighting a fire.
Hmm.
What are some of the things that they have to take into consideration when they're going there and fighting? Like what are the different conditions they have to worry about?
Oh, weather. I mean, if there's wind, can sweep
Oh,
the fire.
and there
Things
was
like the
wind
weather.
last weekend.
Hmm. I remember that the wind.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the gusts that were going last weekend. I think they said it hit like 30 miles an hour last
Hmm.
weekend, which isn't horrible. We've had higher winds recently, but when you consider a fire, that's not good.
No,
the
right.
the fire will spread.
Hmm.
the, the fire becomes angrier.
Hmm.
when when wind comes into the equation.
Yes.
So now you have this 11 alarm fire, you have wind. Pete, how's the weather been?
Very, very cold.
Ah,
Like 9
cold.
degrees at night on average, I'd say.
Yeah, so here's another fun thing when you're thinking about firefighters trying to put out a fire. Okay, they got to hook up to the fire hydrant, hook up to the engine in that, and water. Water freezes, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Well, here's what was happening. Well, they're like all these companies of firefighters are now trying to put out this fire. Water has been flowing all around because of them, with the fire hoses putting out the fire. You now have icy conditions all around.
Oh, Lord.
Because of so now firefighters are dealing with the winds. First they're dealing with the fire itself. They're dealing with the wind. They're
Hmm.
dealing with icy conditions. This is how bad it got cold. When it was hitting the facade of the building, it was freezing.
Oh, God.
The water actually froze when it was hitting.
Wow.
That's how cold it was. The firefighters actually had to use flares. Like
Yeah.
flares that you would put
Like
on the
signal
road.
flares. Yep.
Yeah, well, not necessarily
Oh,
signal
no,
flares
I'm
going in
sorry.
the air, but
Road
like just
flares.
the
Never mind.
road
Never mind.
flares
Yeah.
around the fire hydrants to keep it from freezing.
Incredible.
I've never heard of that before.
No, me neither. That's a first.
Yeah. So anyway, onto the fire. The fire rages from Friday in these conditions into Saturday, still under these conditions because the weather was still cold. Um, and now Passaic, they were very worried of, is this going to spread? Is this going to spread into Passaic?
Mm.
And here's the other thing that the firefighters had to worry about: is this going to spread? Is this going to spread into not just Passaic but surrounding towns? Because
Right.
what happens when the fire is going, embers go flying up. And when you have like 20, 30 mile an hour or more winds, those are going to travel.
Mm.
So surrounding towns were actually calling up their local fire fighters, fire stations, to say embers were falling into their backyards.
Oh, God. Which, yeah, could ignite a whole new
Right.
fire, storm and things
Right?
would
Not, not,
get
not not the
ugly.
superhero though.
No, yeah, things could get ugly quick.
Very quickly.
Hmm.
But like you even had during this, not only did you have the fire companies from surrounding areas and all the different Passaic fire companies working on this fire, you had fire companies like kind of like in the surrounding towns on alert for these flying embers.
Hmm.
And you even had the Coast Guard come in evaluating around the Passaic River just to make sure nothing was catching fire and spreading.
Wow.
That's how large this fire was. Now, the good thing
Hmm.
from this was only just a couple of a couple of plants. Thankfully, again, the main part of the manufacturing plant was spared, but the other buildings basically collapsed from the fire damage. The good thing is also they didn't have to evacuate anyone, it seems, from the fire. So you didn't have firefighters putting their lives at risk, going into these plants and
Yeah.
trying to, rescue people.
Right.
So that was, that blessing in disguise. For it. There were no deaths from this fire.
Very good.
There were just a couple of injuries. Like
Hmm.
actually, one firefighter actually suffered some lacerations, actually from like moving stuff around, and that he actually and had to go to the hospital. And other ones were from the not from the fire itself, but from the icy conditions, from
Mm.
the firefighters slipping and falling as they're trying to put out the fire. That's where most of the injuries came from. So it was more bruises and such, but no like severe injuries from this
Right.
fire. But they were working nonstop for hours
Incredible.
putting this out. Now, do you know this was not the worst fire though Passaic had in its history?
No. Oh, really? What was worse?
Okay, here's what counts as worse. Um, let me just get to it. In 1985,
Hmm.
Passaic had another fire.
Now,
It
this was an industrial area.
Well, remember, Passaic has a lot of industrial areas, but it also has a lot of residential areas as well. It's also very close together, like at least the way it was. So you had a lot of homes and buildings that were close together. Um, Many of them very old. So we're putting together another recipe, and this recipe, unfortunately, makes a bigger fire.
Oh no. Okay.
Th-
And
this was Labor Day 1985, and unfortunately, they found the source of where the fire started. And you want to take a guess what the source of that one was?
someone smoking a cigarette.
No,
Fireworks.
no,
A space heater.
no.
Hmm.
Okay, would you believe two kids playing with matches?
Oh yeah, I do
They were just
believe it.
they were just playing with matches in a garbage can. They were setting garbage on fire.
Well, and were there fatalities? Do you know during this fire?
Yes, there were fatalities with this fire. The fire of Labor Day in Passaic, New Jersey in 1985. Um, okay, so this last weekend, it was two plants. That's not a huge portion of Passaic's industrial base.
Mm-hmm.
Labor Day 1985, 20% of Passaic's industrial base went up in smoke.
Jesus.
Not only that, it actually took a lot of the neighboring homes and such. It this, let's see, it doesn't tell me what alarm fire this was, but they talk about there were like 100-foot high flames going
Ooh.
through these different factories and apartment buildings and other homes. It was in the what's called the Lower Dundee district of Passaic. There were over 150 firefighters trying to put out this fire.
Oh my.
Over a dozen towns were called into this. And at that time, the damage was over $100 million in damage of 1985.
Poof.
Yeah.
Can you imagine
Well,
how much that'd be, now with inflation?
yeah. Well, here's the thing. The buildings that were initially caught fire was part of what was called Jarrah Mills,
Mhm.
which was built at the end of the 1800s through like the World War I era. Now, let's see about how much that this covered. Now, okay, an acre's a big amount of space, right?
Yes.
22 acres, that would be a lot of space, right?
It would be.
22 acres of Passaic gone.
That's 958,320 square feet.
Thank you, Pete.
Oh, you're welcome. I calculate that all in my brain.
This has
Really,
been
I
the
did.
This has been the math moment with Pete.
Yeah, definitely 958,320 square feet. My
Now-
Rain Man moment.
The crappy thing is, since that fire happened, now 22 acres were burned. You want to guess how many acres are still vacant from 1985? Because of how hard
Because of
it
that
was.
fire? Oh,
Because of that fire, the area that it was, it's just harder to build in that area, and there's a lot of red tape you got to go through and such. You know how many acres are still vacant?
15?
How about 17?
Wow.
17 out of 22 acres are still
All
vacant.
those years later. Incredible.
All these years later in
Like
Passaic.
Chernobyl,
Basically, yeah.
right? I mean, not of that magnitude, but as far as.
But the good thing is, they have been able to rebuild somewhat. Like they have like a 60,000-foot ShopRite that opened at one area, and they've been able to develop a little bit. But yeah, it's just that there were a lot of lessons that the Passaic Fire Department and the city of Passaic learned from that, because some of the things that they were saying is the water pressure was not good. These places didn't have working sprinkler systems, a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them, like, again, very old construction, so some of the building materials were older and more flammable.
Right.
Yeah, and, a lot of these places were closer together. So, yeah, the fire companies have learned. So if you look at last weekend's fire, which, again, was two plants versus 22 acres. I think they've learned a little bit since then.
As far as fighting the fire more effectively.
Fighting the fire more effectively.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know, though, this is not the worst fire in Passaic County history, and not even close in New Jersey history.
Where was the worst one?
Well, we'll jump around. What fires do you remember? I'm just curious. Like, what are some of the more memorable fires that you've either read about, heard about, like firsthand, secondhand, whatever, maybe witnessed? I don't know. What are some of the New Jersey fires that you've,
Yeah, nothing that I've witnessed, per se. I'm trying to think of like major fires that, I mean, was there any in Newark that,
Well, there've been some, like, over the years, but
and
not.
we've had some forest fires. I know of that. as
Oh,
well.
definitely, and we're going to go into
Yeah.
that
Yeah. Like,
because what people have to remember, we're still the Garden State, and we have a lot of forest area. A
mm,
lot of the landmass in New Jersey is still forested,
right.
but
Because there was like in the Pine Barrens, I remember kind of there being
yes, yeah,
a
there was
fire,
a
right?
yeah. In fact,
Back like
the biggest fire was in the Pine Barrens.
mhm, 7 or 8 years ago, something like that. 10 years ago, I don't
No,
remember.
no, no. The biggest one was in 1963, and we'll go into
Oh,
that in a
okay.
few minutes.
Yeah.
But the biggest um, fire, as far as in Passaic County and New Jersey history, like when you talk of cities, suburbs, and such,
Mhm.
Paterson,
Oh, okay.
1902, on February 9th. Yeah, let's see if you can. Let's play guess the fire starter. What started this fire? The
The Paterson fire.
the Paterson fire.
Was it also a warehouse, like a chemical
Well, it wasn't a chemical place that was the starter,
mhm.
but you want to take a guess of what silly type of thing like caused the fire, started the fire?
I mean, I'd always say still it'd be fireworks, but
No, this one's February 9th, 1902. So not a lot of fireworks going on around that time.
oh, in 1902. Okay.
Well, not no. Fireworks have been around for a long, long time, but February
Mhm.
9th. Happy 5 days before Valentine's Day. Happy, like close to President's Day. Like
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. There's not a lot of things to be
Ammunition? I don't know.
not ammunition. Do you know how like some of the city transport was back in Paterson in 1902? Like the public transportation. Do you know what you had?
Back in Paterson, in
Yeah, and back in Paterson.
1902,
Yeah,
horse and buggy.
you did have horse and buggy.
Mhm.
You know, it's another form of transportation you had.
Trolley.
That's correct. Trolley.
Okay. Mhm.
Thank you, trolley. A stove in a trolley shed overheated.
Oh, okay.
It overheated. It caught fire in the trolley shed. Now, what are some of the things that we said for a fire that will intensify and make it harder to deal with?
Cold and wind.
Guess what you had? Cold and winds.
There you go.
Yep, you had cold and winds going on February 9th, 1902.
Mhm.
Yeah. How about 60-mile-an-hour winds?
Oh, Jesus.
It
I
this
That's
fire actually
insane.
this fire
That's like the
actually
Santa Ana winds, when they're fighting those fires.
yeah, this fire actually tore through not only just downtown Paterson,
Mhm.
it actually leapfrogged into a residential neighborhood like the next one called Sandy Hill. I
Holy
did not
God.
look up what Sandy Hill is nowadays because I'm guessing it has a different name.
Yeah.
But I will look that up and I'll have it for our next episode. Now, thank God, again, this is one, when you look it over, there were only 2 deaths with this fire.
Thankfully.
But okay, instead of going like the route of how many acres, let's just
Mhm.
go buildings this time. Let's take a shot of how many buildings were
Huh.
actually destroyed by the fire
How many buildings were destroyed by the fire? Boy,
of Passaic. Not Passaic, Paterson, 1902.
125. Or am I lowballing it?
Higher, higher.
Can you take
Yes. Scott Stapp was not part of this fire.
375.
Higher, higher.
Higher?
Yeah.
560.
Okay, lower.
Okay,
Yeah,
480.
you're close. 459 buildings were destroyed, including
Wow.
including now Paterson, New Jersey is one of our largest cities in New Jersey.
Yes, true.
A quarter of the city's structures,
Were
26
destroyed?
city blocks, were taken out
Incredible.
by this fire.
Wow.
You know, libraries, city hall, everything. Like it actually. Now this is going to be ironic, but the actual fire burned itself out, and and with the help of the firefighters, outside a cemetery. That's where it stopped.
Ah,
Yeah, people were saying like there are witness accounts of this fire. They said it was just like a giant whirlwind of flames in the city of Paterson. That's how scary it was.
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I'm
those
sorry. Go
numbers, I
ahead.
mean, are just shocking.
Yeah.
How about as far as how many structures were decimated and then that you said that it stopped right at a cemetery, right?
Yep. Stopped by a cemetery.
Yeah.
This is how bad also the fires and how hot. Um. Okay. St. Joseph's Roman Catholic Church on Market Street was decimated.
Mm.
The collection box. This is weird. The collection box itself was, like that stayed. Everything that was in the collection box, like all the coins, melted together.
Oh God.
That's how bad. Like, yeah, just basically all but somehow the box itself didn't melt, but everything within the box was just baked like
Mm.
together. And
Wonder what.
like there's actually going to be oh no, I'm sorry, no, this was this was a while ago. They back 20 years ago they actually had a display of remaining relics and such from the fire, like things that survived the fire somehow, such as
And
that box.
is there a museum for that?
um that I have to see if it's an ongoing, if they have a permanent structure. But again, for the 200th not 200th, the 100th anniversary, they actually had a display, like a whole like museum type of thing going on. But I have to see if that is a permanent piece now, or if it's been
Mm.
moved to other buildings.
Right.
Because I think they were saying that some of it's been moved to like City Hall.
Okay.
Just so it's remembered how like how severe this fire was. And you have to think in those days too, they didn't have the fire equipment they have nowadays,
No, absolutely not. It was like a water
or even
pistol.
1985.
Right.
Let's go though a little more fire history. What are some of the other ones? Like I know you were saying you didn't remember, but
Yeah.
any other ones like that you can think of that we've already talked about?
Fires that we discussed already. I mean,
Yeah, but be they huge or small, like
besides
fires that.
Passaic and Paterson, or
Yeah, besides Passaic and Paterson, because fire is not regulated to Passaic and Paterson.
no. It's a zoning thing that has to only be in those two
Yeah.
districts.
If you want to start a fire, no.
Were there fires like in Newark at all?
Again, there were Newark fires throughout but there was nothing that I picked up as far as like the intensity, like some of these huge fires.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure there have been, historic fires in Newark as well. But how about when we talked about the boardwalks? Do you remember
Atlantic City? Right?
Well, I think
No?
there was an AC one, but Asbury Park
Oh.
lost a whole bunch um, back in, what was that, 1917, April 5th,
Mm-hmm.
1917.
I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah, that one was actually um, along the boardwalk. There was a place that had an indoor swimming pool that was
Mm-hmm.
heated. Yeah, it was heated. So there's wires. And, well, at one point, that caught fire. Set fire to a large portion of the boardwalk. And actually, went, I think it was, did they say 4 blocks up from the boardwalk, and laid waste to 48 buildings in Asbury Park,
Yeah.
including like hotels and, like some of the uh, big structures along the boardwalk, such as like the amusement park and such. So that was actually a pretty big one. Um, Also, you had the Long Branch Pier that Mike Zapsik actually brought up back in when I think that was on our first show, and also when we talked about boardwalks. That one was 1987, I think it was. Yeah, June 8th, 1987. Basically, a fire took out one whole pier of the boardwalk of Long Branch.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, like now this is
Yeah,
all coming back to me, and I'm
that,
remembering how they had to reconstruct the
yeah,
boardwalk there.
and
Yep.
well, I don't think they've reconstructed everything there,
No,
but
not everything.
um,
Right.
but it was the haunted house was like, it was a famous
That's
attraction
right.
there in Long
Yep.
Branch that went up in smoke.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also talked about fires actually on our Great Adventure episode.
Yes,
Remember
which
that
that was the
one?
haunted house that I was in. That
That
went up
was,
in
yeah, that was
flames.
the
Yep.
haunted house of Great Adventure.
Yeah.
And
Real tragedy, that one.
May 11th, 1984,
Mm-hmm.
that caught fire. They say one of the problems also was the like, I guess, the insulation in that building, like that foam type stuff that just like ignited and just, just engulfed that building. Unfortunately, 8 people lost their lives in that fire.
Mm. Yeah, that
And
was.
that one, they actually said that the fire was arson on that one, the Great Adventure
Mm.
Fire. They think it was arson, or I think they were saying it may have been somebody in the haunted house lit a lighter, like,
Oh
because,
God.
because the haunted house was dark.
Mm-hmm.
They think
That's
somebody lit and caused that fire.
wow. Yeah, I don't even recall what the origin of the fire was. What caused it,
The
but
haunted castle one.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Like, again, they said it was arson, but I think they're saying it was a lighter, but they don't know if it was, I guess, someone interior or exterior that lit it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just because of the makeup of that it just quickly swept over the whole structure, and people were trapped inside.
Yeah.
Now that one also, if you remember, let's say, like what we were saying before, Passaic learned from their fire back in 1985. So
Mm-hmm.
this one last weekend was better. The
Right.
Haunted Mansion actually brought about change in the whole amusement industry and fire safety measures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
like sprinklers and all that, I imagine.
yes, yeah.
Mm.
Sprinklers, makeup of the places, all that was because of the Great Adventure Haunted House fire in 1984. Now, let's go on to the big one, though. What you said,
The Pine Barrens.
the Pine Barrens. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
like New Jersey has, these large swaths of land called the Pine Barrens. Mainly South Jersey encompasses. South and Central Jersey has the huge portion of the Pine Barrens.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Pine Barrens itself, I'm trying to think. I think it says it's like I think it encompasses actually about 40% of our landmass.
Jesus.
Yeah, people don't realize. Now, there's stuff built within the Pine Barrens. I'm not saying that, okay, 40% is still uninhabited, but what's considered the Pine Barrens is still, I think, at this time, they say it's about 40%.
Okay.
Well, April 20th, 1963, we had a bit of a fire there. The winds this time were only 40 miles an hour. Not 60.
Only.
Yeah, only. There's an actual name for this day that the fire in the Pine Barrens broke out. They called it Black Saturday. The crazy part is, from where the fire started, it just spread, and other fires started all along. Remember how we said embers can fly and then land? Well, now you have embers flying and landing back into the Pine Barrens. So, want to take a guess? We're going to go back to the acre numbers again.
Okay.
How many acres of the Pine Barrens were lost due to this fire?
How about 860?
860 acres?
Yes. Am I low? Or
Very low. Very low. Very low.
3,100. I would just feel like I'm on the Price is Right.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to bid over you and beat you there.
Oh, even higher.
Yep.
8,900.
Nope, you're not even in the ballpark.
Really?
You're in a different sport at this point. Not even the same ballpark.
26,000.
Nope.
Even higher?
You're still playing wiffle ball.
180,000.
You're close. How about 190,000 acres?
Took me long enough.
Of the New Jersey Pine Barrens burned.
Amazing.
On this day, or over a couple of days, in the New Jersey Pine Barrens. Remember what I said about the Pine Barrens take a large bit of, the landmass of New Jersey. Yeah, and I think, I might be wrong on the total landmass of Jersey of the Pine Barrens. But basically, what this fire took out was over 4% of New Jersey was burned.
Quite remarkable.
4% of the landmass of New Jersey was burned in this fire.
Wow.
Now, when you think of a fire this large, again, you're hoping that it's not too bad with, people and that. There were not many fatalities from this fire. And there was only actually, that's only, but when you break up the Pine Barrens into the individual towns, like let's take Egg Harbor Township down South Jersey. 85% of the wooded area of Egg Harbor Township was on fire. Only 21 homes were destroyed though by it, but 85% of their woods was gone.
Wow.
Yeah, and many places, down the shore, down South Jersey, lost large swaths of land from this fire. They were saying the fire was actually moving at 4.5 miles an hour. Now, that doesn't sound fast, but okay, a human running. How fast is someone going to be running?
Yeah, exactly?
Yeah, well, yeah, like put it this way, the like when the football, like the what do they call them? When they're doing the tryouts, the actual, they're going through the speed and strength and all that. Someone can do maybe a 4.4, or like you may have some rare things like a 4.0. Well, a 4.5, 4.5 miles an hour. when you see fire, it's not usually spreading fast. It's just kind of like, in one spot and then slowly moving over.
Yeah, you tend to see it move faster in places, like Colorado and California, I'm sure because of the winds, right? That
Yeah,
could pick up,
the winds and also drought. And unfortunately, at this time, there was also drought going on.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another condition that can cause fires to be worse than they probably were going to be. So with the dryness and, if you think about the Pine Barrens, there are lots of fires throughout the year in the Pine Barrens.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a normal thing that happens in forests. But, like something to this degree does not happen often.
No, not at all.
But yeah, and this brought in many, many towns as far as trying to put out the fire. And also this was when they were early times when they were using water bombardment. Do you know what that is?
Water bombardment, is that from the air or is it from
from the air? They were actually dropping water from the air onto the pieces of forest in the Pine Barrens.
Right.
But yeah, it's pretty bad when 190,000 acres and 4% of New Jersey it's lost in one in one shot.
Exactly. And that was the worst fire in New Jersey's history.
That was the worst fire, the biggest fire in New Jersey history. Now, again, we've had bad fires along. If you remember a few years ago, we had the Marcal fire, not far from the Passaic and Paterson fires.
Yeah, that's right.
Elmwood Park basically, is along those. And the Marcal, the paper plant that many people for years saw along the line of Route 80 going east to west in Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was a huge Marcal plant sign that you would see when you were coming east. And it was always cool. It was like a nice, cool marker. So okay, I'm close to home. Or, hey, if we're going over into New York City, we're not too far from the GW. Well, that sign and the Marcal paper plant, gone.
What's there now?
I believe they have rebuilt a plant, but I believe it is a different name. It's not Marcal.
Not Marcal.
Now, I don't know if it's the company that maybe is a parent company or something, but there is a different name on that building area.
Building, yeah, right.
And not a huge sign like we were used to for many years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember back in 1997. Do you remember along Route 17 in Lodi, National Wholesale Liquidators?
Oh, absolutely, sure do. Yep.
Yeah, remember in 1997 when it caught fire?
Yes.
Yeah, because I lived up the block from there. Remember?
And flames.
Yeah, and you saw flames, and the bad thing is where we were, you didn't know what it was particularly on fire. Because not far from there was an armory.
Oh,
the armory there along 17. So we didn't know. It's like, oh crud, are we going to see the bombs bursting in air soon or something?
I was going to say fireworks.
Yeah, unexpected fireworks.
Yeah,
but there was something I learned from that fire.
What was
because a lot of people were out on the street wondering what's going on. Of course, I was one of them. I went down the block, and the firefighters were going around and asking, do you know where, the closest hydrant?
Oh, okay.
So, for all you out there, a good thing to know for your own local fire safety, know where the hydrants are. It sounds like a silly thing, but it can come in handy for firefighters that are trying to get a jump on a fire without them having to kind of walk around and find exactly where it is. Because I guess they know somewhat where it is, but if someone just points it out, it's a lot easier for them to hook up and start fighting.
They should have like an app for that for firefighters.
Yeah.
Where is your
Fire.com.
yes fire hydrant
Yeah,
locator?
hydrant.com. No, they should actually have an app that you could just like attach, the hose to your phone, and you can actually start, fighting it yourself.
I like that idea.
But yeah, these are some of the historic fires. Yeah, there've been many in New Jersey, but I just want to kind of point out the progress we've made to that. We averted disaster last weekend, because if they did not control that fire, not only Passaic would have been under basically a stay in place, or here's a bad thing also to think about at this date and time. There were actually firefighters out because of COVID.
Oh,
So
wow.
from the different companies, you had firefighters out. Now, if they had to evacuate people in Passaic, where are you going to put them? Because Passaic again is one of the, one of the cities in New Jersey, bigger cities.
We'd have to find like a big gymnasium or something. I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's all well and good, but now think of COVID is still spreading.
Mm-hmm.
So how could they have safely evacuated people to somewhere in a safe manner if that main plant had caught fire and a chlorine cloud went up?
Right.
Yeah, it's like it's scary when you think about it. Oh, our friend just checking in on our messages. Our friend Stuart Greenberg. He was saying, guys, there was a big fire by my office in Whippany in 2018. Billy and Madeline's Red Room, a 65-year-old tavern, burned to the ground.
Oh my.
Yeah, but by the Whippany Railroad Museum. Oh wow, I didn't know it was right over there. Oh, cool. Well, not cool. Like, it was on fire.
Yeah,
but, I forgot about the Railroad Museum over there in Whippany. Yeah, there's a lot of places you sometimes take for granted. Like, oh yeah, that's in New Jersey again, wasn't it?
Yes.
But and I'm also I just want to say, we're with you, Stu. Just please, if anything's needed, please let us know.
Absolutely.
But let's take it over to you, Pete. Like,
yes,
getting out of the the craziness of talking about fires. Do you have something a little more laid back, a little more fun than fighting a fire? Do you have a game for us?
We do. Yes, we're gonna play some New Jersey trivia.
Okay, cool.
New Jersey trivia game. Yeah. Now some of these are going to be multiple choice, and others are just straight up answer.
Okay.
Now you do not need to
pull Abdul.
That was the answer for number one. Yes.
No, you said the straight up answer.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry. Who was that? DJ Dojo Cat or whatever the heck his name was?
DJ, Scat Cat.
Who?
Scat Cat.
Scat Cat.
MC Scat Cat.
MC Scat Cat.
Yes.
Now, can you do the whole Scat Cat rap that was in the middle of it?
Yep.
You can?
Yeah. It's the Scat Cat rap. I don't know. What was this question? I don't know.
Do you know what the rap is? Could you like?
Can I do the rap? I guess if I was looking at it, maybe. Practiced it for a while.
Hold on, I've gone off screen.
Pete is not completely disappeared. I still see his shoulder.
Hold on.
Pete's headphones are fighting him right now.
There we go.
Pete, you can do it. Oh, yes.
We need it.
You won.
Power. We were losing power, Captain, on our laptop. Now it's back to normal. Here we go. All right.
What's our first question, Pete?
Our first question is, this is kind of interesting now. Ocean City, New Jersey sits at the northeastern corner of Cape May County.
Okay.
Which activity has been illegal in city limits since 1879? I'm going to give you a few multiple choice.
Okay. Now I've been to this city. Actually, I've been there before.
You've been there.
Yeah, like
Is it?
there's a bed and breakfast over there. So let me see if I broke the law or not.
Which activity has been illegal in city limits since 1879? Is it running amusement park rides, not attending religious services, selling alcohol, or driving more than 15 miles an hour?
Now, let's see. I'm trying to think of their boardwalk there. They had a lot of like confectionery and food things.
Mhm.
I don't think it was the religious services because I would have been arrested then. Uh
with your with your giant pentagram emblazoned on the back windshield. Is what you're saying?
ah! No, no, but I'm going to say, well, what was C again? You said
Well, we had running amusement park rides,
no,
driving
no.
more than 15 miles an hour, not attending religious services, and selling alcohol.
I think it's selling alcohol. I think it's a
Nick,
dry city.
confetti drop. Yes, you have won the first
Woo!
question. Selling alcohol. So Ocean City wasn't incorporated as a borough by New Jersey until 1884, but it has origins go back to 1879. There were several Christian ministers that organized Ocean City as a Christian retreat and camp.
Ah,
So, therefore, they instituted meeting. Buying, selling, or public consumption of alcohol was prohibited since the beginning.
oh
And
wow,
we know Ocean City, for its 2.5 mile boardwalk, multiple amusement parks. But yeah,
right.
no alcohol is able to be sold. What do you think of
No
them
booze
apples?
allowed.
No booze allowed. Okay, now let's talk about
The Yankee
the
Rose.
seaside resort of Cape May.
Okay.
We all know it for the colorful Victorian homes, majestic lighthouse, beautiful sandy
Mm-hmm.
beaches. But the residents also boast about this oddity that is visible by the naked eye from a section of the shoreline. What is this
Ooh.
oddity?
Okay.
No multiple choice on this one.
No multiple choice.
Unless
Um,
you know,
is it the exit zero on the Parkway thing?
exit zero.
Oh no, they are. They're exit zero.
No.
They are the literal bottom of the Garden State Parkway because they're the actual literal bottom of New Jersey.
Oh,
But I guess that's not it.
no. The
What
answer is
what is the oddity?
the oddity is um a giant monster that got its feet stuck in the mud there, and it's Godzilla, and he can't move. He needs help. So. No, it is the remains of a concrete ship. This is really
Oh.
interesting, by the way. Something I didn't even know that during World War One, so steel became scarce. So Woodrow
Hmm.
Wilson allowed 24 concrete ships to be built, and only 12 were completed. And as the war ended, this one ship, the Atlantis, now not IS,
Not Atlantis, but Atlantus.
Atlantus, it was used to transport American troops back home from Europe and later to transport coal in New England. So 1920, the ship is retired to a salvage yard in Virginia. 1926, it was purchased with the idea of using it and two other concrete ships as docks for a
Oh.
proposed ferry line that was going to connect New Jersey and Delaware. But in March of that year, they towed it into New Jersey waters, and in June, a storm broke the ship loose from its moorings, so it got
Oh.
stranded on a sandbar only 150 feet from the beach. They tried to pull it free, and they were unsuccessful, so it's remained in that spot. And the eroded wreckage barely resembles a ship, but
Wow.
that's kind of interesting. I never knew that
Yeah,
before.
I never. You know what? Truthfully, I didn't even know about like making of concrete ships in like in World War One era.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on. Which New Jersey state highway that runs from Philadelphia to the Atlantic Ocean is nicknamed the White Horse Pike? Is it the Atlantic City Expressway? Is it Route 30, Route 70, or Route 322? 322.
Okay, 30 Atlantic City Expressway,
And Route 70.
70, and 322. And you said runs from Philly to
The Atlantic Ocean.
the Atlantic Ocean.
The White Horse Pike is its nickname.
White Horse Pike.
You got the ACE. You got the Route 30, Route 70, Route 322.
I'm actually gonna say, well, because now let's see, the Atlantic City Expressway is like exit 38, and that is like in conjunction with Philadelphia, because usually when I'm hitting Philly, I'm going the Turnpike. Stu Greenberg has an answer.
Oh, does he? What is it?
Yeah, I'll go with Stu because Stu knows.
He knows.
30.
Stu Greenberg, you have won $1 million. Yes, it is Route 30. Correct answer.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Yeah, I don't think Atlantic City one is in the right spot.
As an interesting aside, that the 60 miles covered by Route 30 was originally a footpath by the Lenni Lenape Indians. I think we discussed it on a podcast.
Yes,
didn't we?
yeah. Well, yeah, we discussed also some of the history of the tribes of like in New Jersey, and that the Lenni Lenape were up here too. Yeah, and actually that's where a lot of our towns get some of their names.
Yep, and it was also a stagecoach route to Atlantic City from Philadelphia.
Oh, cool.
All right, here we go. We'll move on. We'll do a few more. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're good. Okay, we'll do another 3 multiple choice. And then, all right. Which county in New Jersey is the least populated? Is it Warren County, Salem County, Cape May, or Sussex County? And let's see if you can guess how many citizens.
Oh God. Okay, now Sussex County. Sussex County is the top of New Jersey. So like that, the way New Jersey kind of like tilts and has that tip. You have High Point, and you have the Sussex Airport, and all those goodies up there. Let's see. Warren is left. Let's see. What were the other two? Oh, Cape May County and
Sussex. So
Sussex.
Warren, Salem, Cape May, or Sussex?
I think I'm gonna actually say I know Warren County's left, and there's not as much, but I think actually it's Salem.
Nick, you would be correct. Salem County, southwestern corner of the state. How many citizens do you think are there?
679. I don't
know. No, way off.
No. I how about though I will say like 20,000?
No, more.
Okay.
I'll give you one more guess.
Okay. How about 100,000?
No. 65,000 citizens.
65. Okay.
Those other counties I mentioned, they have all surpassed the 100,000 citizen mark.
Right. Yeah, and forget counties like Bergen, Essex, Passaic, and all that. Yeah, we have lots. Yeah, I think we go into like some of us go into the millions.
Let's just do a true or false. I do not have a figure associated with this. I already gave away the answer, didn't I? The Sussex County, true or false, has more cows than traffic lights.
Oh, Sussex County? Yeah, they probably do have more cows than traffic lights.
True.
Yeah,
I wish I knew the number of how many cows, but
yeah, our friend Rob actually lives up there now.
Oh, so he would know.
It's I've just from driving up in Sussex County. Yeah, there's not a lot of traffic lights, and there's not a lot of extra roads, highways, and that. So you're kind of like stuck on these long country road type highways.
Yeah. Here, I'm going to give you a gimme one. Which of the following actors is not from New Jersey?
Okay.
Is it Ben Stiller? Is it Jack Nicholson? Is it James Gandolfini? Or is it Kevin Spacey?
Wait, who was the first one again? You said
Ben Stiller, Jack
Ben
Nicholson.
Stiller.
You are correct. Ben Stiller from New York City. James Gandolfini was from Westwood, New Jersey, which that always blows my mind.
Yeah.
Just because I said, I know Westwood so well. Jack Nicholson, Neptune, New Jersey. Kevin Spacey, Newark, New Jersey. But here's an interesting one. Which New Jersey town has the largest population of Cubans in 1 square mile? Is it West New York? Is it Union City? Is it Gutenberg? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, or North Bergen.
Oh,
You want me to
jeez.
go over that again?
No, 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 no. Like I think
Mhm.
I know the West New York. I don't think it's Gutenberg.
And then you've got Union City, North Bergen.
Yeah, Union City, North Bergen. Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna try. Let's see, is it Union City or North Bergen? Union City, we'll say.
You are correct. There are more
Woohoo!
Cubans in Union City in 1 square mile than Havana, Cuba.
Oh my God!
Isn't that crazy?
Oh, and our pal Stuart Greenberg, he also
He also guessed
he
it.
chose Union City. There we go.
Wow, very good. All right, Stu, if you're still tuning in, here's one. Which city has the most car thefts? Is it Paterson? Is it Newark? Is it Jersey City? Or is it Passaic?
It's Newark.
Did Stu weigh in?
Oh no, Stu didn't weigh in yet, but I think that was
A
a
gimme.
known fact for a long time. Newark was the stolen capital, the stolen car capital of the United States.
All right, we're doing 2 quick ones, and we're out. How many farms does New Jersey have left? Approximately.
How many farms?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is a tough one because there's the farm and there's the things that are designated as a farm that's a little shady,
Mm-hmm.
and not Shady Brook Farms.
Correct.
Jeez, I'm gonna say because it's
And when you hear
a great number. I'm gonna say 37, but I think it's high.
37, oh God, you are so way off.
Okay.
Let's put it
Okay.
this way: seeing this figure is enough to shut someone up when they say New Jersey is a toxic waste dump, and that's it.
Okay. Let's say 370.
Oh God, no, you're still. I mean,
700.
like tremendously off, as cold can get. Nope. Oh no, 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 no.
Too
You're
high or
ready to
too
be
low?
jarred?
Yeah. Okay.
Way too low.
Ooh. What's
Like
the number?
significantly low. Do you want the number?
Yeah.
It's 9,000.
Oh my God.
And they say that even though New Jersey is losing farm acreage, the number of farms is
Farms.
growing. But again, I wonder, what does New Jersey constitute? What constitutes a farm in New Jersey, right?
Yeah, there are laws around that make it a little like, oh, is that a farm or not? Because farms get particular tax breaks and subsidies and such. So,
Yeah.
wow,
Let's end with the one. Here, let's.
wow, nine
Yeah, wow
thousand.
is right, exactly. I like this one. Which New Jersey town has the most shopping malls in the U.S.? Is it Englishtown? Is it Paramus? Is it New Brunswick? Or is it Hackensack?
No, it's not Hackensack. I live there, and although we have a shopping mall, yeah, that's not us. But
it's not within the realm of possibility that you'll get more.
Let's see. I know about Paramus, and what were the other two?
Englishtown and New Brunswick.
You see, the other you're saying the amount of malls. I'll still go with
what New Jersey town has the most shopping malls in the U.S.
In the U.S.
In the US.
I'll go with the number one answer with just when you think shopping mall in Jersey, I think Paramus.
And that would be correct. And here's our last statistic. Paramus has 7 major shopping malls in a 25 square mile radius.
Oh, okay, let me
major,
see if I can get
not minor. Remember?
let me see. You see?
Can you name the 7?
Good. That's what I'm going to do. Garden State Plaza.
Yep.
Let's see. The Bergen Town Center used to be called the Bergen Mall. Paramus Park Mall.
Yep.
The Fashion Center.
Yes.
You have the Mall at 4.
Yeah, right. Which would be like a Riverside Square Mall, right?
Nope. That's
in Hackensack.
Riverside is Hackensack. That's the fun part.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's why Paramus having 7 malls is crazy when you think about it, because Hackensack has a big mall, but no, Paramus has all the rest. Let's see. Mall at 4. Oh, I'm missing. What am I
Unless they're
missing?
like including like, remember where Cinema 35 was? Like, do they consider that
Oh, I think that is considered actually a mall.
like a
The
mall, right?
Yeah, it's like is that Mall at 35 or something or other?
Yeah, something to that effect, right?
Yeah,
So maybe they're
and
including that.
yeah, and what's the other one? I wonder if they're also including the one with Dick's Sporting Goods, Michael's Guitar
Oh,
Center,
right. Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
whole big thing
Yep,
there. I think
yep,
that might be also considered a mall, even though that would
yes,
be technically an outdoor, like more strip mallish, but
yep.
so yeah, Paramus. But and if you remember, if you go back to our I think it was our 4th episode, Malden, New Jersey.
Mold, I love that.
Malden, New Jersey, yes.
MAULED.
Yeah, the city of Paramus, because
Mhm.
of the malls, it's one of it's the highest retail sales in the United States at over
Wow,
$5 billion
that's
dollars
insane.
yearly. Again, I don't know what it is adjusted for COVID now, but up to that point, it was over $5 billion a year.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Well,
Yeah,
thank
and
you for
I've got
the
like a gazillion more, but we'll do that for another
save him,
episode.
save him, save
Yep.
him. Well, I hope you enjoyed our episode. If you'd like
Yes.
to reach out to us, reach us at whatexitpodcast@gmail.com. You can go to Twitter at exitwhat at Twitter. I don't know why it came out that way. Thank you, Twitter. Yeah, we don't have an Instagram yet, but you can also go to our webpage on Facebook at What Exit Podcast.
Yep.
And what else? Yeah, just reach out and join in the fun. Stu, thank you. He says we rock.
Thank
You
you,
are the one
Stu.
that rocks, sir. You are the one
Yes.
that rocks.
Thanks for listening.
And if you want to start your own podcast, please, A Shared Universe, now in Red Bank, New Jersey.
Yes. Can't wait to go there.
Yes, created by the wonderful Ming Chen and Mike Zapsik, and
Yep.
some of our great friends, such as Stu, have podcasts through there. And actually, our engineer Chris Mad, he and Paige have a podcast, Ghost of New Jersey.
Yep.
And hey, make your own, be part of the fun. So
Y-
for What Exit, I have been Nick Franco.
I like that delivery. And I'm Pete Riario.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Good night. See ya.